find yourself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So you're off in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haight deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down in towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's allowed to have fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. And the Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such chopper. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Triple Bypass Chaos at Canadian Tire. Round 5 from Motorsport, sponsored by Sean Bradley and Ben Harcum here. I am James Parfitt, going to be joined in the booth alongside me for Bradley Dalton. Brad, I'm going to bring you in quite early. We're here for GTP and GT. Not something we generally have seen this season.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. It's weird to say that we're triple bypass and we're watching GT3 GTP. There's something about it that feels off, but we're at Canadian Tire Park, and I'm pretty sure the last time we were here, it was triple bypass, and it was
Gen 4.
Yeah, it was the Gen 4. So it's like a weird, like, I kind of had to do a double take when I looked at the schedule and I was getting things set up, and I was like, wait a minute, am I looking at the right things right now? Is this really what's running? So, but yeah, no, I'm pretty excited. I'm not gonna lie. It's something different Triple Bypass is doing, and I like it.
Yeah, it is. Don't forget today's race sponsor is Sean Bradley and Ben Harcum. 5 nights of racing, Sundays Gen 4, Tuesdays late models, Wednesdays road racing, Thursdays Xfinity, and Fridays, of course, these G3. So it's going to be an interesting one once more. Hour and 35-minute race, Brad. 10-minute qualified and multi-class to boot. An interesting combination, should we say.
Yeah, I think it hits on something different and kind of a different style of driving that we'll see who does well with. Survival is going to be the key. It kind of I saw a joke earlier in the Discord. I was kind of looking through just to see how guys were feeling, see how people were thinking, and they kind of made the comment, and they're like, it's called endurance racing. And I don't know, I think it was Al Corey that actually made that comment. And I don't know if he was joking or if he was serious, but this really is, I think the case of this isn't going to be about being the fastest over a short run. It's going to be that true endurance racing, which I know for you and me is something we're just seeing on Saturdays, but it's going to be pretty cool to watch a Friday night and see how Triple Bypass handles things here.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be an interesting one. I think overall, you know, there's going to be a lot of action involved. You know, we've got GTPs, which is 5 caddies, 1 Alpine, 1 BMW, so that's going to be an interesting one, and obviously G3s are in the mix as well. I think could be chaotic. I'm not going to lie. Motorsport's not very big, right? They say it's got 10 corners. Me personally think probably 2, and say that it's probably only got 8 corners to it. There's not a lot to this circuit, and when you've got GPs and G3s together, as we've just watched Ben Harcum go and hit the wall here, so that's never good as they start off in those qualified as well. Ben Harcum hitting the pit exit wall, not a good idea when you're trying to start your qualifying.
You know, Ben, if you're gonna have an issue, now is probably the time to do it. I'm not gonna lie. Probably just ride at pit exit. Go ahead and get the jitters out of the way. But yeah, no, it's GTP and GT3 mix here. It's kind of unique. I like it though, and yeah, as you said, you know, this is really just an 8-corner track. And I've been watching lap times. I've been watching the GTPs go through practice and sat for about 45 minutes on the practice server. But some of the GTP guys were running a minute 5 around this track, and GT3s were running on average about a minute 17, I believe it was, off the top of my head. So the spread's going to be there. Traffic's going to be an issue that they need to contend with, James. But as you and me know, traffic shouldn't really be an issue if people just pay attention, keep their heads up. So we'll see how it goes long term, but GTPs are going to have a hard time, I think, in the long run.
Yeah, I did that as well. And I think the mix of these GT3s. Overall, it's going to be interesting in general. I think that just having this combination at this racetrack is going to be very, very tricky. And the first times are going to start coming in very, very shortly here, guys, with these out. Everybody out, obviously, in closed qualifying. That's going to be an off track. That's not going to be What about JC? Good spread in GT3s, Porsche, Ferraris, BMWs, Fords, Mercedes, and Lambo. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one, I think, for Freeze to see how they get on here.
I'm really shocked to see Matt Harmon in the Ford, honestly. That's one of those cars that, when I think of the GT3s, I don't usually expect to see someone in the Ford or the Lamborghini. That doesn't seem to be really a popular car, but Mr. JC John Campbell here making it work, and honestly doesn't look like he's doing half bad in it. He seems fairly comfortable and pretty relaxed through. We'll see here as he goes to put in a lap time where he lands. Kane, first driver through, and Mr. Sean Bradley, the first GTP through with a 105.8, and then Kyle Gresh comes in with a 105.1. So you could see times in the GTPs are fairly close. The GT3 class is really where we're going to see the spread, I feel.
I think so too. I think it's going to be hard for GTPs to get through. I think, with the BMW, the Cadillac, the Acura, it's always going to be tough for them to overtake the GT. I think especially if they're going to use the outside of turn 8, and as you can see naturally, GT3 washes out wide, it naturally goes off to the left-hand side. They haven't got the aerodynamics on the car to be able to pull it through. So it's going to be very traffic-based here this evening. I think they've got to be aware of what the traffic is doing, what the car in front is doing, make sure they don't try and squeeze any form of gap. But the problem comes when you've got two GTPs battling it out for position, and they go to overall, GTP overtakes, the second one's got to follow, and that's where the rush mentality of the blood goes to the brain. And before you know it, they're trying to rush through 2-3 wide, because obviously they need to get through at the same time. So I think overall, interesting one as Dornick goes on to pole in the GT3. Ian Cruthers goes on pole. A nice little spread of cars while they are driving around here, guys. For qualifying, we will bring you up the scores on the doors. Of course, this is the final round of the. So we will check in and see the scores. This will be in the GTP class. Silent Racing of Gretchen Bradley are out in front with Team Ben Harcum of Ben Harcum. And then Twisty Bits Racing with Stephen Clendon. And you've got United, Spaz Motorsports, Team Sean Bradley, Justin Racing, Rogers Racing, Mongolian Automotive Club, Team Fritz, and then Team Barton in 11th. In the GT Bricked Up Motorsports with Nick Dwardick out in front with Prestige Worldwide in second. Wild Ollie Motorsports in third with SRB Racing in fourth. Team Barton, Crispy Kane, Team Krispy Kreme, Team Fritz, CFC Films Racing, Rolling Chicanes, Harmon Racing, Team JB, and then Garage Motorsports at the bottom of that one. Steve McClendon's just come in that if don't want to work at this time of morning. In the caddy there as well, looking gorgeous, I'm not going to lie, well, we've got, what have we got, 10, 11, 12 GT3s. It's going to be quite manic.
Yeah, I think long term it's gonna get pretty chaotic as things go. I think especially once we get longer runs in and we see things really kind of produce through. Especially, are we expecting pit stops? Are we thinking pit stop cycles are going to also play a game in this?
No way. At the most, the run at 100% full, it will go about maybe at a push 40 minutes.
Awesome. I just double checked my race notes here because I thought things we're going through. It is indeed GTPs are at 50% fuel, and the GT3s are running 45% fuel. So
they're going to go
pit
for
stops,
about 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah, pit stops are going to make things very interesting by the end of this race.
Yeah, we've got Tyler Thumbsticks Merritt out on track at the moment. He's in the Porsche. Bob Wolf goes in front of him in Ferrari. Tyler there. Going to be tough. Such a hard circuit. Long looping corners. Double pull the thumbstick. Got a cool. Tough job, Tyler.
Yeah, you know, you can run the thumbsticks on an oval and get away with it and do fairly well. Very nice and smooth, but when you've got to kind of flick around left turns, right turns, it can get a little complicated. I'm not saying thumbsticks can't do it. I'm just saying thumbsticks has a little bit higher of a challenge today, but the fact that he's running P3 right now, it shows the skill that Tyler has in the long term. We'll see if he can capitalize on that by the end of this hour and 35-minute race. I think it's going to be good. We just have a couple minutes left in qualifying here. We see Merritt's in to the pits here, and then this is checking with Mark Herzog, who's through, Jeremy Castro, who is bringing it around and still looking to put in a representative time.
Yeah, he's
I
only
don't see
done
one yet.
No, he's done a warm up in this one. This one is going to give him now the first time on the board. Castro is going to have to go again. They round about 190. Still got time, but it's just whether or not he can get the car on track. Going to be the question.
Yeah, track limits are going to be a huge stand-up problem as we go through this hour and 35-minute race, especially right here at the bottom of the hill. We see a lot of drivers run wide there, and I think if they just continue to do that as this race goes, it's gonna stack up. The track limit penalties will stack up, and it'll again make things a little bit interesting in the long run.
Yeah, it definitely will. As Castro is kind of giving quite a look. So much. If you are here, much love to you, and I hope you're going to enjoy some action with the guys from the Triple Bypass. No ovals here, as Brad has said. We're used to ovals, and if you're watching at the moment, you will obviously see Long John Silver 200 trucks hurtling around Martinsville, which I've been doing all as well as the Xfinity. Let's just say a bit of a caution fest. So I will say, man, a lot of time, as I took 2.5 hours earlier on to 200 lapper at Martinsville in the Cup Series. A long one, Brad, I'm not going to lie. Definitely a long one.
Yeah, those are always the most painful races. And I've been seeing a lot of people kind of saying that officials have been a big caution fest as of late, that it's been pretty rough. But looks like we have the grid up here, James, and Keaton Crutchers. Crothers putting it up on the top.
Crothers is on pole with Stephen Clegg, Ben Harcum, fourth, Sean Bradley, Carl St. John, and Andy Sparaza, top 7. Morning from Wolf, Tyler Merritt, Cameron Kane, they're leading the way in. John Campbell, Jason Benson, Matt Harmon, Tyler Ruelas, Grant Parker, John Greenler, Jeremy Castro, and then Mark Herzog. That is the grid. I will say now, Brad, yes, officials this week at Martinsville has been a long and drawn out. Well, to be fair, they actually started calling it iPace. The 200 lap was only one split under 100 laps under caution. It's 2 top split under caution at Martinsville. We had 100.
Honestly, it sounds miserable, and I would not want to be a part of that. I would not want to do that. But you know what's interesting is I just noticed that it looks like Mr. Benson is still in the pits. It doesn't look like he's going to catch the race start here.
Yeah, we're going to be up now as well. Racing once more. We're going to get this hour of 30 Sean Bradley is moved up a position. Ben Harcum got caught out. Freeze is into Warnick out in front with Ron Wolf in second on that inside line. However, he doesn't want to be on the outside for turn 3, but this man Tyler Wolf is out onto the grass and saw him almost onto the grass there. And unfortunately for Ricky, did manage to lose that position. Spread out already. That could have something to do with Sean Bradley and Carlson John, who both went off circuit. That's coming out of turn 3. It's coming into 4. It's a little bit much. Unfortunately, now we got Sean Bradley earlier on. An hour and 35 minutes. Carlson John and Sean Bradley into the wall. It looks like Speranza's also had a moment in the GTP. Turn 3, more up the hill into Ross as well for Speranza. So the GTPs are very spread out. That, not how you handle that. Warnick, Aaron, Rob Wolf, Cameron Kane are your top 4. That morning from Carlson John.
That was kind of painful. I will say, thankfully for these guys, they have faster teams throughout this 95-minute race. So they get a little bit lucky in that regard that if there is a moment, they can get away with it. But we'll see how it plays out long term. If you've already used your first fast repair at the end of lap 1, look at this. Thumbsticks making the move here on the trying to go around the outside, long way around, wants to make it stick going down the hill, plenty of room given, but for a moment it looks like he had it done through the inside. Now they come side by side here, coming through the double right-hander. Who comes out ahead? The BMW has a little bit more pace, and look at that. Oh, that is Kane in the background.
And Wolf now going at each other here. Fight into turn 8. Round the right hander they go. At the moment, it's Philip and Wolf. They're going to swap places times here. This is time number 4. Merritt's also going to make it through. But that's Merritt up into second place here. Action down in the G3s. We're going to stay on this one. Fight round turn 1. Tyler Merritt out in front, Steve in second place, sorry. Wolf in fourth. The weirdest thing is, if you have a look at Wolf's window, there, the GTP, and that, my dear sir, is Carl St. Jean come out of the pits. He's got it all wrong again, as Carl went off the side, come back to the pits once more. It looks like Sean Bradley is not having a good time in the GTPs. That could be the fact that he's got no rear wing. There. Right, this is the one right at the beginning, wasn't it? Yeah. Sean Bradley there, fortunately, from and got damage. But Wolf, Merritt and Dornick are keeping the action alive in the GTP.
Yeah, I thought the GT3s would be really competitive on this track, and I'm kind of glad to see that that's how it's playing out. They're keeping things very close and very together. Of course, in the GTPs, it is McClendon and Gretsch that are going to kind of keep a run, but this top 3 battle is going to go back and forth for a bit, because every one of these cars have different areas of the track where they're going to benefit. The midsection is going to really pay off for the Porsche there of Tyler Merritt. And then Wolf overall should do better in this fast-paced section. But straight line speed of Dwarnick in the BMW going down the back straight into the final couple of corners should keep things interesting. And look at this. Look at Thumbsticks. He's trying to make a run. He's trying to swap back. He's almost tapping the back of the Ferrari there. He does switch back there as Wolf tries to back him up, and now Wolf slides back in on the racing line. So Merritt's a very smart racer. He's putting pressure in all the right places with that Porsche. He's trying to find the move, and then Ron Wolf is just doing a very good job of backing up Tyler Merritt in the right places and making sure he's not getting a better exit. They're doing all the right things. One of them is going to get ahead of the other. It's just a matter of who.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? Boom controllers, says Derek Cat. Yeah, goes JC. JC's in fourth place in class at the moment. In that Lamborghini, he's got the BMW of Rick Waite, however. Waite is just behind the edge a little bit closer. He's on the way through already. 5 laps here to get hold of these brothers. He's got patience inside. His car Gretsch goes centre up inside. That gap's now done 3 tenths of the lead for the battle. It got to Carl Gretsch is down to brothers here on lap 6 now in 29 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, catching that traffic really paid off for Kyle Gretsch as Mr. Keaton Crothers got backed up there, so now you can see that gap half a second. But Keaton Crothers looks very comfortable in that Cadillac and that GTP car. It was just managing to keep things moving. Glad to see that Kyle Gretsch has kept the sexy ultra quarter. And really all the drivers carrying very similar liveries to what they run on their Cup cars and what they run on the rest of them on their distances. Easier to tell who's who as they go through. And again, more GT3 traffic here for the GTPs. This is the leaders here that they're going through. That's thumbsticks there on the right hand side, and then there's Dwornik going through, and now they've got to get around Wolf, but Wolf needs to be mindful of Dwornik and Merritt as well. You can see he's trying to give room as we ride on board here with Mr. Crothers, who gets through, and look at that Calgary right on the back as we come around. It's going to be real close between these two. I think Kyle Gretsch just needs to kind of stay comfortable and apply the pressure as he can and just wait for Keaton Crothers to make the small mistakes. What happened to Kyle Gretsch? Because Kyle Gretsch is around.
He's cross corner, he's got up the hill, he's having great. There it is on the run up into Moss. Let's go on the board. He's gone. That there. Really fair as everybody. Best thing. Down and Kyle Gretsch. Down. Fourth in class. Whoa!
Oh no!
That was Ford was in the mix there. On the brakes, it's on the brakes. What's the?
It almost looks like the Ford Panic trying to get out of the way of the GTP. It looks like Matt Harmon might have been trying to get out of the way of the GTP.
Smallest amount of contact from McClendon there. It was enough to send that on the side of that Ford. Pushing it off the side of the circuit. And Ford doesn't need lots to spin it, mate, but you've got to make sure they're not hitting it in the places. Because otherwise, that is the result.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate too there for Ben Harcum because there was nothing he could do in the mix there. He was a passenger coming up on that. And I have to give him a big shout out to because he held the brakes, did the scariest thing you could as a driver, and sat in the middle of the track, exit of a corner, and just held the brakes, let the traffic get around, and then move. That's Class A driving from Kyle Gretsch, to know to hold the brakes there and sit there and wait. And go through, and of course in that situation with the Ford there with Matt Harmon, there was literally nothing he could do. As soon as he went around, he was just a passenger. It's unfortunate he bounced out on Harcum, but also nothing Harcum could do in the next either. I don't think anyone did anything wrong in that situation. I think it's just sometimes that's what happens when you have GTPs trying to get around GT3s, and sometimes a little bit of impatience can come into play.
The problem is he really had to go, but farmer. Or else is getting
Didn't Sean Bradley just come out of the pits? What has happened to give him no rear wing again?
I don't even know he ain't got one.
Surely he has to know, right? He can't not know. These cars are downforce cars. If you don't have a rear wing, you're gonna. Matt Harmon, hold on to it. Hold on to it. Almost kicked it out of the wall.
He's now out. Matt Harmon. Ross Carlson gone as well. Matt Harmon's out, so it's one from each class at the moment. It's the 18 cars on the racetrack. Well, very dramatic here early on. We've got now at 24.
Yeah, we've only been running for 11 minutes, Shane. Like, that's the thing is we've got all this action, all this chaos, and we're only 11 minutes in. It's pretty cool to see the Oval guys running on a road course and see action and keep things entertaining as we go here, riding on board with Nick Dornick, who's trying to chase down Tyler Garrett, but also keep Mr. Ron Wolf behind in the Ferrari. And again, it's the top three in GT3. They're really keeping things moving, and something's happened because Sperrazza is showing off track for me again. I'm not sure if he's just hit himself or what's happening.
All right. Gone, I think, down the hill. Got it all wrong. Ended up in the barrier on the right-hand side. You're going to run that wide. Open way. Did. Got it wrong. Got back to it. Not an ideal scenario for some of these. I think some have jumped into me and thought, woohoo! And realised, uh-oh. Not good. Can't jump into a GTP and hope to be.
Yeah, this is a tricky track for the GTPs, I think. It's because it's deceptive how much grip and downforce the GTPs have, and you think you can carry a little bit more speed through than you actually can. And if you have that one little moment of lapsing judgment, especially on these downhill sections of the track, these large, twisty downhill bits, and you lose sight of where you're at on the track and what you're doing, it can really, really mess you up. Cars are unforgiving. The GTPs are one of my favorite cars to drive in iRacing. Unforgiving if you do not have a handle on how to take care of this car. I'm trying to joke about it sometimes here on the channel. You know, take it out to dinner, take it to see a movie, buy it some flowers, and it'll take care of you. That is, in my opinion, all of the GTP cars.
Yeah, gotta be nice to them. Not trading a rough, it's gonna come back and bite. Not nice. Carly, driving, especially you know it's bad with Matt Harmon. Already sorry for his face not going to kill, but I know I hit two of you. That's Matt Harmon forward. For me, it didn't look like it was contact. Slight contact.
Yeah, Matt Harmon, from my perspective, it looked like a slight bit of contact and a slight bit of came together. A little bit of weird physics engine. All kind of just, you put in a pot, you mix it up, you boil it over some hot water. I think that's really what put all that together and made that worse than it should have been. I think in real life, that would have been just a little bit of a tap and everyone moved on. But I think iRacing, kind of made it worse. And that was Merritt going on thumbsticks.
Yeah, thumbsticks is gone. Obviously, went off the side of the circuit there. Wondering if I think again that may have been all on his own. The GTP did just kind of bumps it up a little bit on his own. And away Tyler goes off the side of the circuit. But I have seen if Matt Harmon's going to come and jump in the booth and have a quick chat with us. Let's go in. That will now start red. Got Wolf here. Got Tyler in front of him. So got Wolf still on a bit of a mission. Little truck down.
Yeah, and Tyler Merritt under pressure here from Wolf. The thing is that little off-track moment is going to kind of shake up Tyler Merritt. And, you know, you might say, well, Tyler Merritt's an amazing driver. It shouldn't affect him at all. But the thing is, it's a mindset. It's a rhythm game. You have a moment like that to throw you off the rhythm. See Emperor's New Groove. It's the groove. It's the rhythm in which the driver runs through life. So it really is. Drivers are creatures of habit. So it can be one little moment can really mess things up, and it can put Tyler Merritt under a lot of pressure. And it looks like he's recovered pretty well, but sometimes it's just that snowball effect of issues. And you can see still as GTP traffic continues to clear through, and you can see they're getting well out of the way. They're providing plenty of room. They're obeying the blue flags, which, James, I know you like. NASCAR obeys the blue flags and gets out.
Yeah, I do, but sports car racing, blue flags don't do nothing. Car racing, Sean Bradley coming through traffic and trying to get hold of Tyler Morales. As far as I'm concerned, Morales isn't fighting anyone. Was it 2 laps down or 1 lap down off the leaders of the GT3s? Bradley. Oh, Gretsch has lifted a tyre. Oh dear.
Runs wide, turn 2, slams the tires.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of this tonight.
Oh,
that's a hard hit.
Oh, that button's gone.
Okay, fair enough.
I think the GT could be already tapped him by his brothers on the circuit.
Oh, he's beached it. Kyle Gresh has beached it. He's going to have to tow. I wonder if he knows he's got a busted front end.
Can't turn.
Bad as he does.
Yeah, if you can't turn right. Oh, it's got a busted.
Man, that
If
hurts.
you can't turn right, you must know.
Surely he knows. But yeah, no, James, I'm kind of with you there. GTPs might be very, very wrapped up as it goes. Now, granted, in 13 seconds, it's not unheard of for him to find 15 minutes. It's possible. It's just we're still seeing that gap open up lap after lap, so we'll see what happens. As lap traffic and different factors come into play. But look at this here. Look at the battle at the top of the GT3 as we have the GTP there. I believe that was Ben Harcum trying to work his way back to the track.
Yeah, Ben's a sponsor with Sean Bradley. Both men are still running. Bradley. So where was that mission started there? If he's on. Here we go in the GPs, round turn 8, turn 9. Whoa!
Oh!
Tyler Ruelas. Bro, I'm not even gonna.
Well, Tyler was off the I don't think he was on circuit. I think he was in the grass. Well, that's massive. Let's see how this goes. So, Sean Bradley comes over the
Morales
hill
is there.
around.
Morales is there, and
Oh, and he's rolling.
he wasn't rolling. I hope he was rolling. He got away. Try and get that.
That hurts.
And Morales in the pits, Dixie now Castro. Really the closest battle on your screen.
Does Matt Harmon know where we're at?
Matt, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good, guys.
How are you, man? All serious. Oh, you're still racing. I thought you were out.
Yeah, I'm just tooling around here in the back of the pack.
Oh, let me drop you back down there, dude. I thought you were done.
I still got a few laps in me.
Oh, man. You carry on. I'll catch you later.
I think he just went back out. I think he went out, and I think he decided to keep running because he's going for points. That's the only thing I can think of.
Got me 13. Done. Oh, you've got time. Don't. That on the timing system has gone a little bit haywire. Warning and Wolf here in the GT3 now left on the clock here, Brad. Still got time to get it right. They've quite a lot of time to get it wrong.
Yeah, and that's the thing is this is an endurance race. This isn't necessarily, this isn't the, run 10 laps and run as fast as possible and just drive the tires off the thing. This is a matter of survival and running through, and look at that. Dwarnick getting passed by Wolf here. Wolf now in the lead, but Dwarnick with Slipstream. They're coming up on a slower GT3 Porsche who needs to figure out what they're going to do there. That's the number 99. That's John Creedler there, who's in the Rexy livery. And, sorry, not the Rexy livery. That's a Moser livery. And there we go. John Creedler getting right out of the way because Wolf and Dwarnick are absolutely battling as hard as they can. And the BMW is going to be behind the Ferrari yet again here. So GT3 swapping leaders again as we keep things moving here. A minute 12 to go. There's still so much racing left here. And the thing is, you might be 5 or 6 seconds back now, but, give it 20 minutes and you might be battling for the lead. You never know.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. There's so much to go on. I think overall, it still battles in the top two. Then you've got Mark Herzog and Tyler Merritt. One Mark's livery loaded. If he joined late, it did. Oh, they've had a coming together.
Oh.
May have been involved in it. Oh, Merritt went already. Merritt was already on the slide, and unfortunately, everybody else involved in that one. Problems with Max loaded. No, hopefully this might resolve this issue. Oh, the BMW. Oh, Dwarnick. Got it all a little bit wrong. He was close to getting it wrong as well. Got to be careful. Got to be careful, haven't they? And I think, is this what we're seeing of oval drivers in road racing cars? I'm trying to be diplomatic because I got told today by somebody that I'm in go play F1 23 rather than drive trucks around Martinsville.
Ah.
So that was nuts.
They're just mad. They're just mad that an Englishman is better than they are. But that's all that boils down to.
Oh no!
Oh, what is this?
Oh, that's the leader. Oh no, was that Wolf? It might.
That was Campbell, Waite, and Castro.
Oh.
That That's the battle for P3.
All right,
So
ain't
how
anymore.
did this start?
Oh, BMW went round, hit the Ferrari. The BMW coming back across the front of the track, and unfortunately, that Lamborghini of JC was there. Carl Gretsch, the Mortals, got this back
Oh, I hope
to the
not.
pits. Got it all repaired, he has, up through turn 4. And around he goes.
I mean, he almost saved it. If he'd have put a little throttle in, I think it would have been okay. And who is this? This is Cameron Kane and who is that? Is that Benson?
Benson
Back in
down
there?
in front. Yeah. Kane and Benson scrapping it out in class. This is now third, well, fourth really in class. As you see up the road, JC's in the pits, so this will be soon the third battle. They're going to carry on fighting out. Crothers is in, McClendon is in. 20 minutes, spot on.
Man. If you play the lottery, can you let me know some numbers as well? Because I could really use the winnings as we watch here. Tell you what, AO Racing is probably my favorite IMSA team. Shameless plug, AO Racing, awesome team. Of course, they've got Rexy, they've got Spike, they've got Roxy that they run in some of the WEC stuff. So I like seeing someone running the Rexy livery in the Porsche. So Mr. Cameron Kane, good on you for running what's probably the best looking livery on a GT3 car.
But there we go. Not going to argue.
I mean, I'm sure there's better looking, but as far as a livery that's attracted a fan base and really gotten people interested in the car, I think it's nailed spot on. I mean, I went to the Rolex 24, right? And the whole time, the only cars that my fiance recognized the whole time we were there was Rexy and Spike. Of course, Spike is the LMP2 entry, and Rexy is, of course, the GTD entry. Or GT3 is more properly known. So, you know, if you can get someone who doesn't know anything about motorsports to recognize your cars based on the livery and start rooting for you and buy your merchandise, you've done pretty well, in my opinion.
Your wife buy their merchandise?
She did, yes. They
Get a dinosaur plushie?
yes, the plushie.
You are joking. I was only...
No, I'm not joking. They ran out of them, and you had to order them online for shipping. So that is what happened.
Later, wife. Got an hour and 7 minutes. Some of the G3s have been in, but that is a lot of due to their own little bit of an incident, accident situation going on. It has all kind of settled down at the moment. Cameron Kane and Rick Waite, probably one of the closest battles on the track. Can I ask? Do we think that the fact that these guys are dominant over? We've obviously seen that 4 drivers take Canadian motorsport a bit well, and do we think some of this experience is just linked to more practice at circuits that don't necessarily, there are circuits and cars that are not necessarily under their experience?
You know, you're not wrong.
I'm trying to be diplomatic, right? Because as I say, I had it today. I got told as an Englishman to play F1 23. But it's obviously this kind of effect, the fact that obviously we're putting the guys from the US and Canada and Australia, who we normally see doing oval, putting them into GT3s and GTs we wouldn't normally expect.
Here's how I'm going to say this, James. I'm going to say this very politely. Pull up the triple bypass weekly schedule.
What right now?
Yeah, show it on the screen real quick.
Right.
The 5 nights of racing.
There you go.
Let's think about it. Triple Bypass has 5 nights of racing, right? You only see 1 night a week is road courses.
Oh, 2, Wednesday, Friday.
2, okay. So here's the thing with that. I'm looking at iRatings for all of the drivers right now as part of our fun behind the scenes stuff that we have. I am looking at 4 drivers that have under 1,000 iRating in their road license. I'm looking at 2 drivers that are under 600 in their road rating.
I agree.
So, when do you ever see these guys in the ovals have iRatings that low?
Me.
Also me, but
I think, to be fair, I think that's the thing, right? I've spent the last 2 days, and obviously I use my account for mainly broadcasting. Hold it, Grant, hold it. Hold it. You're not going to hold it.
Oh.
Stay where you are.
That was almost very bad.
No, it's a GTP.
No. Oh, golly. Ooh, Grant Parker, you scared me. I think several drivers could use a code brown on their next pit stop.
Yeah, I would be one of them. But what I'm saying is obviously I use my account predominantly. My son is getting it. So my iRating plummeted because I've got access to all of these new shiny cars and all these licenses that he had, and he didn't start in rookies, right? He come back and started jumping straight on going at it as well over Ron Wolf. So of course everything plummeted. My iRating in ovals went down to like 600 at some point from 1350s. Spent this trying to get it back up. Just gone back up to 1100. But to another side of it where you sit back and think, what discipline would I probably prefer to drive? He likes the road circuits. I prefer the ovals. So I'm quite happy to build my license back up. But as you say, none of these guys are massive high the road license category of IR, apart from Dornick here, who's 3.7. I think he's about probably 1.6k higher than the leader peak. So we are seeing, I think, without being rude, and I'm so trying to put this in the most diplomatic way, I think we are seeing the situation when you put a non-oval based drivers into cars. I think that's the thing. Notch there, thanks Sean and Ben for sponsoring the race, and great broadcasting, James and Brad, thanks so much. Tyler Morella as well, there goes my race. Yeah. Was doing this last just for the funds and carriage. Oh no. Yes. Yeah, Tyler, you did cause carnage, but you also didn't yourself in some of the carnage that you caused, especially with Sean Bradley in a GT. So that's it. Let's win. That's Cameron Kane in that going up.
Yeah, GT3 still going here with Cameron Kane. There's a bit. Ooh, Waits right here in the mix as well. When did this 4-way battle just develop out of nowhere? This is what we talk about with the GT3s, of just stay consistent, and out of nowhere you're going to have a 4 or 5 car battle just happen. I love this with them. But I'm gonna round out the iRating story, and then I think we'll leave it there so that way we don't get fired from Triple Bypass. iRating isn't everything, but it's a very clear indicator of who has experience with what. So with that being said, seeing the majority of these guys be sitting around a 1400 iRating tells me, that there's a lot of drivers that are going to run off the final corner and we're going to end up 3 wide.
Yeah, these guys coming from one, that's Castro in a Wait in the background, Wait in the background. Sorry, Rick. As these guys get Right, going up turn 2 in from turn 3, the right hand at turn 3, and the GT3's putting on all the action. There's 6 gaps in the moment. They're doing a splendid job. They continue to fight it out, up the hill into Far, into Moss. They go the right hander, double right hander. They've got to make sure they hook it up in that dip. Porsche got it right. Not so much for Castro in that Ferrari. Didn't really take the dip as expected.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Porsche is a little bit more nimble and can handle that a little bit better. I think something's happened up front with our leaders, because Dwarnick is now 8.5 seconds up on Wolf. So I don't know if something happened and Dwarnick got something wrong, but Wolf has now managed to pull out 8.7 seconds, and it keeps going here, and I have a feeling that I know what I'm about to see.
On the run up into 4.
Oh! Not what I expected.
Super. The weirdest bit of movement now. I'm wondering if there's a big old gap between. Oh, back end to back end. Just the slightest bit of contact. One end up running off. We've got Benson in the middle with Castro there as well. I mean, my iRacing road is at 5:43, and yet I want to try and get back up to 1K, but life keeps away. Yeah, I think that's the thing. You know, you've got to understand it. Life and IRL and everything else. I find, and I will say this, Tyler, that if you want to get your license back, try and do one race a day, just the one. Stay in the same car, do one race a day. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I really like the find one car and stick with it thing, because every one of these cars perform differently and feel differently. For example, the BMW is very well rounded. The Porsche is amazing in the corners. The Ferrari is very nimble in certain points. The Lamborghini has obnoxious straight line speed. The Mercedes can be a good car. You've just got to be nice to it. The Ford is, well, it's a Ford. I mean, it's going to do what it wants to do. Yeah, it would prefer to be an F-150, but here we are with a Ford. So find a car that you're comfortable with and you like the driving characteristics of, and stick with it. And learn that car and learn it to the point where you can drive it with no questions asked. And I think that's the thing a lot of people get wrong, is they go, oh, well, I own every GT3 car. I want to drive this GT3 this time and this one the next time. And they forget about the fact that iRacing has that simulator characteristic of where every single car performs differently and handles differently. So you've got to be prepared for that.
Yep. I fully agree. I think you've got to just pick one car, one way. I think sensible, and get it back up. So that's all I've got in trucks. One truck, one car in Xfinity, and one car in the Cup, and they're the only ones that drive if I'm doing. So get it back up, I would say. Car, track, is Matt Harmon in the pits after having a crash in that Ford again. That was Ben Harcum.
I mean, I don't... Hold the brakes. That was
Ben Harcum.
Yeah, all day that was the GTP.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even... That's...
See the No.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
That's the
issue
problem.
is the indecision.
Is if you watch, he goes out to the right. They're going to wash out the Ford. So he's in go. Starts going right. Then he tries to turn left. Harcum can't get left now because Harmon's washing out. He's got no nose. Don't put the pain of any on of that's it. 6 of one, half dozen the other.
I think it's a bit of miscommunication and just it's miscommunication on both drivers, you know, on Ben Harcum for trying to go outside and then come back inside, but it's also miscommunication on Matt Harmon before trying to take it back inside when he's washing out. If you're the slower car, just follow your racing line and stick to it. And just run that racing line and keep going. Let the faster car work his way around you when it's safe to do so. That is what I was always taught when I was starting to learn mixed class racing. Run the slower class, just stick to your racing line. Don't do anything crazy to get out of the way. And if you pull out of the way, make sure it's somewhere sensible that it makes sense to do so. For example, if you're in a corner and you're going to slow down, you know, on a right-hander like you might do here at 6 and 7, make it an obvious run off the racing line to go wide and make sure you leave the room. Don't do anything crazy. Like right here, that's a good move. Stick to the left, let the GTP through. That's a good way to let that pass happen naturally.
Yeah. Yep. Well, yeah, it's just message. Matt Harmon, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
What's up, guys?
What's up, mate? How's it going out there? Or how did it go for near the time?
It was a little bit different. Trying to stay out of the GTP car ways. A lot of us in the GT3 were, and I think we're trying to give them room, and they're making moves, and we're making moves, and it's just two cars, same spot at the same time.
Yeah, we're washing out. It did look like you washed out, and then there was a sort of a slight little bit of a movement to try and come left. Obviously, at that point, Ben's already coming left. It makes it very difficult to get out of the way. You're not, though, Matt, a road racer, are you?
No, not by a long shot. I jump in here. Kyle does a great job putting these Friday night races on for those of us that aren't familiar with road races, so that we can get some seat time. And there for a few laps, I thought I was doing pretty good. So I'm learning as we go.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, you're only going to get more and more practice the more and more you do it. You're going to get more and more experience that way. So where do you go from here for you now? Are you going to sit back and think, okay, could I do more road racing, or are we primarily going to see Matt Harmon in ovals as
Oh, I'm definitely going to try my hand at both. Keep doing, as long as Kyle will keep putting on the Friday night road course league for us to get in here and get some experience. I'm gonna keep joining when I can, but yeah, you'll definitely see me out there on the oval.
I should hope so, to be honest with you, there as well. To see that, yeah. Will I give you one?
Certainly.
Don't drive the
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try one of the other cars next time.
Yeah, it's a very old GTP. You'll spend more time trying to get it right, but it will probably kill you more times than trying to get it right. I would say, you know, BMW's a nice little stable there, Matt, as well. But thank you, buddy, for joining us. Anyone you want to shout out as you've got time up here in the booth?
Just the admin in the league. They always do a great job. Like I said, Kyle, Ben, and them for putting on the sponsorship for tonight, and you guys for always putting on a good broadcast.
Awesome stuff, Matt. Well, I'll pop you back down in the driver's room, buddy. You have a good one, mate, and I'll catch up with you.
Y'all too.
I felt like my advice was quite sensible, to be honest with you.
I don't disagree. I just didn't expect you to say it. I don't disagree with
But
your
really,
advice.
you're in the booth with an Englishman who's free-spoken with his mouth. What did you actually expect?
You free-spoken? No,
No,
never.
I never get myself in trouble. Ever. But yeah, the other thing, he spent more time trying to set up that house brick on wheels than probably driving the thing.
I mean, you're not wrong, and especially like if you look at the field right now, you look at where Harmon is, and you look at the majority of the cars other than Ruliela's, Harmon and Campbell, Mr. JC, which he's a Aussie man, so I'm kind of not even going to count it for Mr. JC John Campbell. His car choice doesn't count. He does things upside down backwards. You got a Ferrari, a Bieber, a Ferrari, a Porsche and a BMW. What?
You're picking up poor JC. Does things upside down.
Is he not an Australian?
Yeah, but by all accounts, apparently they don't stand on their head. So, I don't know.
Well, no, they stand on their feet upside down, James. Come
Well,
on now.
but that's what I thought. But apparently, no. Apparently, up is down is up and up is down and up and up and down and down and not the same either. So it gets a little bit confusing.
I mean, even their toilets flush the wrong way. Come on now. You got to give me something here, James.
Hey, I'm with you, brother. There's a lot of conspiracies that I'll run through. I'm with you. But I think this is the thing. You've got to be driving. Cannot. As lovely as it is that they out to car gradually, you understand that. I get that, but we lost Harmon, we lost Merrick, we lost Ruella's red. You know, I think they do need time, and then that's the best thing. Get one race a day when kids, babies, kids are at school, whatever. I don't actually know if they are at school. I'm on Easter break over here in the UK, so I think pretty much most people are, aren't they?
Yeah, I know spring breaks have been going around in the U.S., so
yeah,
we've been seeing that as well. So, yeah, I think that's the thing, too, and I think that's what I like about Triple Bypass, really, is that this is a league of guys that are just doing things they enjoy. And is that Ben Harcum going off the track there in the GTP?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Oh, GT3 going loose, too.
Yeah, Ben's come out right at turn 2, right beside GT3s. You're not going to get that stopped. Covers it back on.
And then just ahead of him, Jason Benson and Grant Parker went off. So still plenty of things happening as this race goes. Like, I like that this is a group of guys that have fun and they get together and just do things to have fun. However, you know, I will say that you can tell that GT3 is something everyone wants to dabble in. And that's the thing, is GT3 is just mixed class GT3, GTP, the IMSA, the WEC style of racing. It's tantalizing. It's tasty. It's one of those that I think it's some of the best racing you're going to see. I genuinely love IMSA. And I've just recently gotten into IMSA, of course, with a lot of my background being NASCAR and F1, but some of the action that you see in GT3 and GTP racing is some of the best racing you're going to see. And it makes sense that these guys want to jump into it. But you can tell that there's that little bit of still learning on it, which is not a bad thing. You know, I have to say, if I wasn't broadcasting this race tonight, I would probably be racing with these guys. And if they bring it back for next season, I'm probably jumping a few races with them when we don't have them on air, because I think I would enjoy this with these guys. They're all, you know, good to get along with and fun. And this is a type of race that I enjoy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me at the moment, I've kind of shifted away from general European motorsport, to be honest. And I've been obviously watching trucks at Martinsville. You know, the Xfinity's there, the Cup's there, so I'll probably keep an eye out for that and watch them as well. And I don't know. I just find it a lot more interesting than, because I think partly because I know the strategies involved in that now, you know. And don't get me wrong, there's strategies in every single race, as we can see here with Campbell and Waite. Campbell's still trying to get past, can't quite make it past on the run round turn 3 before they start going on that plummet down the hill and then up the hill in turn 4. This is what JC is seeing in that Lamborghini with that front end, over that back end of Waite in the BMW. Down the hill they go, up the other side he wants to go on the brakes just about now, straight line brake in, round the corner, start applying the pressure, look for the dip on the inside, there it is. Probably could have opened up a little bit more like the BMW did there, Brad. but he did a good job. And you know, I think for JC, he's going to be sticking in there with Rick Waite, but I don't know if now I would sit back and say F1 is something that I need to watch, whereas I find myself more craving to go and watch the NASCAR than I am watching the F1.
Well, and I think it depends on kind of the action and, you know, the style that you're looking for. The thing with NASCAR is it's raw, it's unfiltered, it's drivers really ragging on pace, and those cars are very similar. You're not going to look at a NASCAR and because they're stock cars. There's none of those cars that have a competitive advantage over the other just for the fact that a team threw more money at the wall and it's stuck. F1 for me it's gotten boring the past few years, and it's genuinely not a case of, you know, the Lewis Hamilton, the Max Verstappen domination era. It's just nothing's changed. There's been no mix-up in what teams are where in the order. There's been no big mix-up in drivers. This year was the first time in Formula One that we went between seasons with the exact same driver roster. That's boring to me. I don't like it. Some of these drivers have been racing for 10, 15 years. I love you, Fernando Alonso, but give room to younger talent. Mix things up. Do something different and fun and exciting. Let's bring new challengers into the mix. And that's what I want to see.
And that's exactly why I sat back when they announced the Hamilton to Ferrari as a final payday. There's too many young kids coming through in F1 that really have the opportunity, right? And Max was probably the last one, but you look at the truck racing that's just happened. The 17-year-old kid there, Slowwatch, I think his name is, has just done Martinsville. You know, and I think that's the thing. They're giving opportunities to the younger drivers. They're giving opportunities to William Byron's, the esports drivers. And we're not seeing any of that in F1, and people don't quite understand why we sit back and say, it's a man's best mates, Dave's, Bob's, Uncle Phil's, Fred's, dinners, Grandad, who gets you in there. It's ridiculous. And Hamilton to Ferrari, it's a waste when you got Bierman who finished 7th in his first season, in his first ever race. Give him the opportunity, not some 39-year-old has-been who just wants to take the money off you. It's ridiculous.
Here's you a good example here's a good summation of what you just said. Lawrence Stroll bought Aston Martin so that way his son Lance Stroll could have a racing seat, because Lance Stroll doesn't have the talent to have a racing seat on his own if it was a fact of competing for talent. No. Logan Sargent bent a car to the point that they gave Logan Sargent bend a car that he just got after he got booted out of his car at the last GP because they didn't have a spare chassis because he's such a poor driver. They felt that the driver who bent his car had a better chance at points, but they keep him around for money.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing.
It's jacked.
It is, mate. It's the same all the way through every single level of motorsport. If your face fits or you've got the dollars, you might get in there. And it's the same as everything within motorsport in general. It's the same within, from the engineers to the comms to everything else. And that's the thing. It's just a man's world where I find NASCAR with the young kids coming through, you know, the Jackman being was the linebacker for an American football team, and you're just sitting there thinking, how are you a Jackman? And then you think, okay, you've just got to pump the jack up. But, you know, it used to be an American football player, or tire man used to be a sprinter, and all of this sort of stuff. And you're just going, that is just physically insane, the opportunities that are open to other sports in NASCAR. A young kid at 17 driving trucks around Martinsville. Jesus, man. I was going to go and pay $5,000 or whatever it was we were talking about the other week, Brad, to go drive a Nashville 48-lap potter around the course. But it's just, it's too jacked up on finances. It's too jacked up on money, and it just makes it boring. And that is why, at this moment in time, I would rather sit and watch, as my fellow Europeans put it, cars go around in circles.
Well, I hate that people are like, oh, European, it's just cars turning left. It's so much more than that when you understand it. And it's also understanding kind of the come up into it. One of my favorite things, and I always talk about this, but my go-to series in iRacing is the wheel and open wheel modifieds. I absolutely love that. And it's because it's the best of NASCAR with the best of short track. It's just that great mix of action and just running the car ragged in a car that is just, it's 2 gears. You don't have to think about shifting. You pace in first gear, you race in second gear. That's all there is to it. But you have to be on your P's and Q's and be a dang good driver to make it happen. And it truly is a good proving ground for me for people who want to move up. And the thing is, when you look at NASCAR, that's where a lot of people got their starts. That's where most people got their starts. It wasn't about money. It was they proved themselves on those small series short tracks. And that's what, for me, is the appeal of NASCAR, is the drivers that you see are drivers that have worked their way up. I'm not saying that people in Formula haven't worked their way up. I'm just saying that drivers that are in Formula One and the teams and everyone, there's a money factor behind it. There's more to it than just saying I was the best driver.
I do agree. And paid seats is one of the worst things you could ever imagine that they've even come up with. I don't understand paid driving seats. So let's not forget we have got a motor race getting on here as well. Keaton Crover still leading the GTPs by 22.5 seconds. McClendon in second, Harcum third, Gretchen fourth. Spraz is back in the pits. Bradley's 2 laps down. Then we go into the GT3s. Dwarnick's leading by 22 seconds. Wolf 47 seconds ahead of Castro. Kane's another 8 seconds back. Waits 12 seconds. Campbell's 1.8 seconds. So close here. Corey's 15. Herzog 8. Parker and Creedler are obviously a lap and 17 seconds down from that. So if you're wondering why we're going on a little bit of a rant about things that we disagree with and don't like, that's exactly the reason, because the cars are very much spread out at the moment here as well. So, but then that again, though, Brad, that's one of the things that happens in GTP, GT3 racing.
Yeah, and we kind of talk about it, especially, when we have like VWSC. We talked with George Angelides over in CMS Racing with VWSC. And he talked about, with endurance racing, all of the drivers are driving to a strategy. They're driving to a delta. It's very much a competition of their own race. Now, I do like the way Triple Bypass have set it up with the limited fuel loads, and it kind of standardizes things where we're not going to see as much of a strategy mix-up with these guys. But that is the thing with endurance racing, is things will open up, things will close back. And we've seen it all throughout the past hour. We've seen things open up, we've seen things close back. It's very, very normal for this sort of racing.
Yeah, it is. Towards the end, you should start seeing the GT3s at least start coming together, especially as the fact that the GTPs are, I think, too far spread out here. Obviously, we can look at pit stop strategies at the moment. GTP's pitting on lap 44. We're on 51 at the moment. Ben Harcum on 39, Gretsch on 37. So they're going to get another 20 minutes in from lap 44. So probably within the next 15, maybe 20 minutes, we might start seeing the GTPs coming back towards us a little bit. But I think overall, they're probably going to be settled. GT3s, they might have one more stop. Some of them might have to come in for a splash and dash there. Pitting on lap 42 was Ron Wolf, 39 was Jeremy Castro, and Dwarnick was on lap 23. So Dwarnick was quite early, and I would expect him in soon.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. I'm kind of just watching long term. Also, is Dwarnick missing his entire rear bumper for you, or is that just
no? He is in general. Don't forget he hit the wall.
Oh yeah, he did. I did forget about that. Okay, yeah, no, because I looked for a second. I was like, did something happen with Dwarnick that I wasn't aware of? But yeah, no, he did hit the wall and lose his bumper there as he lets the GTPs through. Dwarnick is in a pretty decent spot, honestly, if he can kind of keep the consistency. But I like this track. I like that we're GT3, GTP combo. It's very... I don't know. There's something about this race, though, that it's missing for me. And I can't decide what it is.
Something's missing?
There's something that... I don't know. Like, there's something I want more of that would give the extra oomph to this race, and I can't think of what it is.
Okay.
Is it rain? Am I thinking of weather?
Yeah, it could be. Rain would definitely give it a different perspective and make these drivers think as they're coming towards the end of the race. But again, I don't believe that's likely to happen as we see Dwarnick get it all a bit wrong in Moss there. So Dwarnick got it a little bit peaked on. Does manage to survive. He's leading the GT3s by about 26 seconds.
Everything's spread out at this point. I thought we were going to see more GTP battles. I know GTP can be a very divided, spread out class, but I really thought we were going to see the drivers be a little bit closer than they are right now. But it kind of shows that differential in pace and comfort, even though everyone's in the same car. And here we go, Nick Dwarnick now into the pits here. And we'll see if Nick Dwarnick opts to take his fast repair. I don't think he's used any of them yet. So we'll see here as he has the long run down into the pits here. And how do we magically see the back end of that BMW? Yeah, we do. Okay, he took his fast repair. Good choice there, Nick Dwarnick, as he sets things up. And we'll get ready here. Should be close, I think.
Ron Wolf's just gone through. I think Ron might have one more stopping him, but Dwarnick could possibly be... He'll be done after this one now. I believe he's probably would have taken his faster player as well. He has. He's now got a nice shiny new bumper on that BMW. So it'd be whether or not this man's got to go in again.
Yeah, and I think if you're Wolf at this point, you're going to know that Dwarnick's pit. You've got an 11-second gap, and fingers crossed you don't have to pit is all there is. He's going to be looking. He's going to be fuel calculating. He's got the 11 seconds in pocket, so if he needs to save some fuel, he's got the room to do a little bit of lift and coast and try to shave off, you know, a little bit of fuel each lap. It really just depends on how off he is on his fuel calculations. And I don't know. It's going to be close. 45% fuel. It's going to be close. And honestly, we won't know until the next 32 minutes is up, James.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's the thing. We've just got to sit and now wait and see where people come out and where they come out together and how they come out and what goes on from there. But I think, you know, there's still a fight to be had. There's still positions hopefully to be battled for, and hopefully for these guys, they will still keep up the action once more as best as we can possibly be here with the cars as spread out as they are at the moment.
Yeah, this again, it throws me off because at one moment we had like 5 cars battling and Parker just went off in the background really hard. Having an unfortunate day there is Grant Parker as he went off, and hopefully he's gotten back going. It looks like he might be going back really slow, but it looks like he is through, trying to stay out of the way of the GTPs back in the background there. But yeah, it's thrown me off a little bit. It just how out of nowhere these gaps spread. We had close battles. We had 4 or 5 GT3s that were keeping close battles for the longest time, and now we're 30 minutes to go, and it's just boom, gone. And I'm curious to see if things start to come back. Also, I think we should finish this race in the dark with 30 minutes to go. It looks like the sun is setting, so we should get a little bit of nighttime action here.
Yeah, it does. It looks like it has dropped down a little bit. Obviously, at the moment, we're waiting for new weather updates to come out to the timing software, but at the moment, it is 10 past 6 in partly cloudy, track temperature 27 degrees. Ben Harcum, that's the leader. You are not the leader. Please be aware that this might be taking place with Keaton Crothers unless they're just going to go and have a full-on ding-dong here as well, which, why not go for it? You've got 30 minutes left, everybody's quite spread out, so why not go and give it a bash? And Harcum has gone and given it a bash and bashed himself around at turn 4.
Yeah, okay. I thought Ben Harcum was really going to try to fight that position, and it looked like he was there up until his spin coming out of Moss. I think he was going to fight that because he is in P3, and I think he wanted to stay on the lead lap. And honestly, it probably would have been interesting to watch. But Ben Harcum, at times, has shown a lot of good pace, and at times has been very unlucky, and then at other moments has just completely missed track limits and discovered that the grass in iRacing is truly just ice colored green as it's gone through. He's been trying to keep things going and consistent, but Harcum there in 3rd place and continuing to just try to run through. Just needs to kind of relax a bit. That's the leader of the GT3s that he's lapping there of Wolf and going past. And now we can continue to run through. And 30 minutes left to go, James. And it looks like Castro might start to catch Kane here in the next couple of laps and start to give us some action in the GT3s again.
I can tell you what, if Castro keeps doing this up into turn 4, he won't catching Kane at any point soon, as he has a soft little spin in turn 4 for him. And Castro is now 1.6 seconds behind Cameron Kane. There's Cameron Kane there in the Porsche livery. You can see Castro in the background. Mark Herzog has just started coming into contact with Al Corey. Mark in the BMW there, Al in front of him, as they've got the GTP in McClendon coming up behind them. There's somebody else. I'm wondering if that is Dwarnick. It is Dwarnick in the GT coming around to lap them.
Yeah, and I think as a GT3 driver, it's one thing to have the GTPs coming through, but when the leader's coming through, or one of the front cars and you're starting to get lapped, it stinks a little bit more. But the smart thing for them will be for Corey and Herzog, battle it out and then just kind of get out of the way. And I'm sure that Dwarnick's on the radio kind of saying, hey guys, I'm coming through, watch out, get out of my way if I'm faster than you. But it's going to take him a minute to catch up. It's still 1.9 seconds the gap, but looking at last lap times, I mean, these guys aren't that far off the pace. Al Corey running a 118, Herzog running a 117, and the leader's running a low 117, mid 116. So everyone's pretty fair. Oh, look at Kyle Greff showing off some of that skill, kind of cutting through there and just snaking his way through the traffic, doing a very good job there in the GTP of snaking his way through, getting going. And there's Jeremy Castro finally getting around Kane, maybe with some help with the GTP there.
Yeah, I think Kane got a little bit held up or had a couple of slow laps that allowed Castro to come and take it. And however, he's going to hit a wall.
Rexy was hungry. That's all. You've got to feed the Porsche. You've got to feed Rexy, otherwise Rexy will bite back.
I bet he's done the same thing for the last 60 laps, and now he's gone and done the same thing again. And the Porsche said, "Not at all." As Corey and Herzog are fighting out here.
That is the nature of the Porsche. The Porsche is a car that you can do the same thing, and every single lap it will respond slightly different. It is a car that consistency is your friend and your enemy, because the car does not respond the same. Because as you drive, as you burn fuel, the balance of the car will shift as the race goes. It can be very tricky to learn and drive, honestly. Oh, there's the brake, the deep brake. 3 BMWs fighting it out here. And deep break there from Herzog.
Yeah, Dwarnick's coming around to lap him, isn't he?
He is. He's right there in the mix. And then there is... what's that? Is that a...
Sellers, Brad. Yeah, still... Yeah, Brad's still running. Bless him. But, yeah, Herzog and Corey and Dwarnick. Don't forget, Dwarnick is your leader. Carl Gretsch into the pit. Should be his final pit stop of the evening. He's got 25 minutes to go here in the final round of the Triple Bypass GTP Endurance Multi-Class GT3 race. So you can see Dwarnick has cleared Mark Herzog, which has spread the battle gap to him and now Corey. JC has just gone past Rick Waite, but Rick Waite has generally put himself in this situation to get overtaken. That's turn 3, goes in deep, gets all a little bit squirrely, and onto the gravel. That's going to allow JC to come through.
And JC saw that gap open and said, okay, I'll take this, don't worry about me, and is now up into P5. JC's showing some good pace here, and I think we'll slowly close that gap up to Cameron Kane as this race goes. 25 minutes left to go, so not a lot of time left. At this point, the guys need to be just dumping the throttles and going here, and Al Corey is catching up to Herzog again back in the mix. So we're continuing to see that battle. That's for P7 in the GT3s that is continuing to develop here as we're hitting this point where it's like we're seeing the action there, and it's deceptively there. Look at this. This is Waite, Herzog, Corey, I believe. And I think this is also Dwarnick in the mix. I think Dwarnick is the lead BMW here in P2 who's gotten around, and then there we go. Yeah, it's P8, P7, and P10 actually, so it's Parker that's behind these two battling, who's additional laps down.
Yeah, all 4 BMWs within the same shot there. Looked absolutely awesome with Al Corey and Mark Herzog now. Herzog did clear Corey in that last little shift of positions and is now trying to... Well, Herzog, he's 13 seconds back. If he gets weight, I'll be very...
Yeah, I'll be surprised too. It's very... I was going to say, it's very unrealistic to think that he can do 3/4 of a second a lap faster than Waite. Just looking at that gap of 13.5 seconds. That is actually continuing to open up, so I don't think he's going to be able to get that gap at all. Unfortunately, I think a lot of these battles have been kind of cemented in here as we go towards the end.
I think you might be right. Might get a change within the It's highly unlikely that's going to happen. The GT3s look pretty well spread out. Corey's not getting near Herzog now. Herzog's done a run-up. So for Al Corey, it doesn't look like he's going to get Herzog this time around. It looks like Herzog could take this here away from Corey and take that 7th place. But Speranza GTP still driving around for a little bit of fun for Speranza. Matt Harmon's out, so it's Bradley still driving around as well in the GTP, keeping these guys honest.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing to remember is, again, we talk about this as endurance racing. So even though these guys are, a couple laps down, a few laps down, they still need to be running. They still need to keep things moving. They still need to continue to push lap after lap and keep running, because it's still points in the bag. We still have a championship we're fighting for, as this is the final round here of the Friday night series. So we still have, championships to settle in and to decide, especially, depending on what you're looking at. You've got to just keep moving and keep things comfortable, because it's the difference between, P6, P5, P4, P3, whatever position you're in to the next one, or, possibly getting past in position for laps. And Mr. JC John Campbell, I'm showing, went into the pits there, it looks like, and is in the pits and is going through. It also looks like I've seen
Gretsch.
off tracks.
Carl Gretsch at the top of turn 4, hits the curb, around he goes. JC's was quite horrendous by the looks of it. He's got to wash out Keaton, he's got to wash out. Naturally going to wash out. Forcing a gap on a car that was all day going to wash out there. There's about 3 more. I don't know if it's picked up the fact that he's gone round, or did he... Oh, JC stuck between a rock and a hard place. Is JC there? Tries to get it into the pits. He's got a very badly broken Lambo, as you can see there. JC didn't really know what to do at that point though, Brad, did he?
Yeah, no, and I mean, that's a horrible spot to be stuck there. You need to get across the track, across a live racetrack to get through. And I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want to be in JC's shoes. That would be miserable. Also, GTPs, I think, are starting to make some of their final pit stops now as McClendon's in. Harcum's on his way out the door as we see Mr. Sean Bradley here with the Lifton Coasters bringing his way through. And you can see the headlights flash. And if you're wondering what that is meant to get the slower car's attention that you're behind. It's meant to just kind of catch their eye so they look up in their mirrors. And so they know you're there. Now, obviously, he's in the pit lane, so this is just indicating that a pit speed limiter is on. But if you see these GTPs flashing their lights, it's because they're trying to say, hey, I'm a faster car behind you, get out of my way.
Or is it just to say hi?
It could also be that. I think it just depends.
Could well be. Personally, I think they're flashing to say move.
Yeah, I mean, it's either here or there. There's no good way to know. Of course, remember that all these guys are in a voice chat together just below us, so it very much could be that they're just yelling at each other as well in the background and just saying, hey, move, and then the headlight flash is just a little bit extra.
I think so. The gap up front in the GT3 is coming down quite a lot. Warnick here taking time out of Ron Wolf by quite a lot at the moment. We're going to have a look at what their lap times are doing. Warnick to Wolf. Yeah, Wolf was quicker on 55, but that could have been where the incident with JC was going on. 57 though, Dwarnick pulled 3.3 seconds out of Wolf. And that is, bingo. What
I don't like it when Jane starts using European phrases because it tells me something happens. And keep it right there. Who's that GTP?
He just ran right on the circuit. I think that was Sean Bradley. So
Sean Bradley. Yeah. I don't like it when you start using European phrases on me, James, because I get a little scared that something really crazy is about to happen.
Yeah, I did look and I was thinking, well, he's been off track for a couple of seconds here. What did he get himself up to? Well, I can tell you one man who has been and done something rather drastic with himself. He's Sean Bradley again. Round the final corner. Oh, you're going to spin it up and into the... Yes, sir, you are. And your GTP looks like he's now jumped back to the pits. Ben Harcum's also been off track as well, but it's whether or not Dwarnick's going to get Wolf in.
Yeah, and I think it's doable for Dwarnick to get Wolf. 6 seconds to go with 17 minutes. Never mind if he's going to do that. That helps his cause none. Just erase all the work he put in there. So, yeah, no. It's doable, but he needs to clean up the race here. But we're the end of the race. The tires probably aren't happy, but I assume the guys have been putting on fresh sets every time they pit. So really at this point, it's just about driver endurance because we're at the end of a 95-minute race. So it really is about endurance for them. And I think some of these drivers, have been pushing so hard for so long. And especially if this is the type of racing they're not used to, they're probably starting to get a little bit tired here as we see Dwarnick into the pits here for what I am going to assume is going to be... That was
early.
Yeah. I assume this is going to be like a splash and go for gas because I figured he would have been able to make it to the end from his last pit stop.
Hit on lap 59. He's only got another 10... Okay, have you now just gone and lost whatever you were going to be doing because of the fact that you went in again, and I don't get why you went in again.
Well,
okay, strange.
There's a couple of theories.
Okay, give us your theories.
Theory number one is that somebody in the background in a GTP just ran wide, and I believe that was Kyle Gresh. But theory number one for Dwarnick is that he's trying to just slightly offset his fuel. And there's Wolf into the pits, actually. So my other theory was that Dwarnick can't make it, and he doesn't think Wolf can make it, but Wolf's going to try to make it. But you can see Wolf is into the pits, Waite's into the pits, Castro is on his way out of the pits now. So I don't know where Dwarnick's going to come out in relation to Wolf, just kind of looking as we come through the penultimate corners here.
Wolf's still stationary. He's on his way out now. This might make a
good battle for the lead.
Yeah, he's on his way out now. They're going to meet down in turn 1. They'll definitely meet. Wolf is literally just about up the road. There you go, there he is. Just saw his back end of that kart. It looks like our very own master of ceremonies here. Mr. Al Corey is at his own moment. That BMW was sliding. The front was on. So I'm surprised that didn't. And unfortunately for Al Corey, all that hard work is done. Gone out the window.
You know, I'm really shocked to see that Al Corey felt the need to reverse it here. Really, he should have just kicked the rear end around and got back going straight. But
I'm
kind of interested.
You think he would have known how to do it?
Does he know how to do a burnout in a stock car?
I don't know. Has he ever won enough to do a burnout?
Oh, now you're just being mean. All right. Well, we're getting fired from triple bypass, James.
Sorry, Al, I love you really. But I don't know if he knew or not to. I don't know. Chose to make a decision, and that's fair enough. And backwards. So there we go. Dwarnick 1.8 now over Wolf. I think Nick Dwarnick's going to win this.
I think Dwarnick's got the car to do it, and I think he's in a good position. However, James, as I talk about every time we broadcast together, when we have a chase like this going for the lead, it is one thing to catch, it's another to pass.
It is.
If Dwarnick gets up to Wolf, he's then got to get around Wolf, and we watch these two race tenths of a second off each other for easily 45 minutes of this hour-and-a-half race. So it's close. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's going to be close.
It definitely is going to be close, but I think Dwarnick just looks like he's got the pace. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, I think Dwarnick is just showing a little bit more pace.
Yeah, he really is. He's not off at all here. So we'll see how things land down. Look at this Mark Herzog getting in a good battle here with Waite, BMW on BMW, and it is going to be Herzog up the inside there around Waite, getting that pass done. And now we'll see if Waite will wait for it or if he will be able to run his way forward here against Herzog and try to get his position back. It does look like Herzog maybe a little bit more pace, a little bit more comfortable at this stage of the race. 12 minutes left to go, James. Only a handful of laps. And I think the big things we're looking at right now is going to be this Herzog weight battle. I think it's Wolf and Dwarnick, and I think that's really it that we have right now. We've lost several drivers as this race has gone on.
Yeah, Ron Wolf needs to get on a bit. Get on a little bit, because there in the background is the BMW. That looming BMW of Dwarnick as he's closing him down here with 11 minutes to go. 1.6 seconds on the clock. Last time out for Wolf was a 1:16.8. Dwarnick with a 1:16.6. So he pulled 2 tenths out of him over the last lap there alone.
Yeah, this is gonna be a close one at the end, but I'm also, again, I'm still kind of sitting on that. It's a thing to catch, it's another to pass. So I think even if Dwarnick gets up to Wolf, and even if he can initially get the pass around Wolf, I think Wolf is really going to fight it back. I think Wolf has been conserving a little bit the last couple of laps, and here with 11 minutes to go, he's just going to start giving it his all. And at this point, there's no sense in, holding back pace, holding back anything. So if Wolf has more in that Ferrari to give, he really needs to do it.
Yeah, he definitely does. I'm not quite sure how much more he's got. 1.3 seconds now. The gap's down to 10 minutes to go. Dwarnik and Wolf one more time. Coming at it. Tat towards the end. Let's see how this one turns out here, Brad. Who's your money on?
Honestly, I think Wolf. I think that Ferrari will have just enough in it to be able to hold back, and I think Wolf is honestly getting lucky with when he's being caught by the GTP cars and how he's letting the GTPs through, that he's not really losing time to Dwarnik versus Dwarnik, who we just saw lost about half a second there trying to let the GTP through. So it's very close, but I am going to tell you, I think Wolf has it in the Ferrari.
Well, let us know if you are still watching in YouTube what you think. Who's going to get it? Who do you think is going to take this one? Is it going to be Wolf? Is it going to be Dwarnik? As we're coming into the last 9 minutes, they've really got about 9 laps to go. So very interesting developments here as well as they're going around on laps. Well, these guys aren't on 75. They're on 65 at the moment. As they're 10 laps back for the GTPs. Or 1.4, Brad. It seems without traffic, Dwarnik's a hell of a lot quicker.
Yeah, it does. And looking at the track map, I think Kyle Gresh will catch up to them, but it's not going to be till right at the end. So at this point, Wolf really has to do this on pace and on just pure ability to make a Ferrari as wide as a tractor, which I think is doable. Again, it's going to be a case. I think it's a little bit of luck and a lot of skill needs to come together here for the next 9 minutes. It's doable. It's gonna be close, but it's doable here as we watch this battle kind of unfold here. It's been a good race. I'm not gonna lie. I am enjoying this race, and I know we talked about it earlier. You know, seeing the oval guys on the road course, it's a bit different, but I like it. Like I said, if they run this again next season, I may have to run with them. So, because I'm enjoying this, and I think it'd be fun.
I would run with them, but I don't know if I'm gonna be. I don't know. Yeah, but.
Yeah, but you're up now.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I want to be up every time.
You'd be okay. I'll send you a shipment of a Red Bull.
Ugh.
Over from Amazon.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Give me a good, decent brand of coffee.
I was gonna say, what about some American Coca-Cola? I've heard that pop in the U.S. is very different to pop in the rest of the world. So maybe I'll just ship you some American Coca-Cola.
If that works. Probably get charged tax. But it don't mean I'm still going to stay up. Especially as the fact in about an hour, 2 hours time, I have to go and do my son's paper. No.
Will you go to bed before you have to get up?
I have a seat in the chair. I'm not worried about that.
Fair enough.
But I think 10 minutes sooner, whatever, I usually get time to go. But if I go lay in bed, definitely.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you there. Kudos to you, James. You are a stronger individual than I am. I could not do it. Also, Kyle Gresh made his way through when we were talking there about the paper route, and all of a sudden now the gap is 0.4 of a second between Wolf and Warning. So, yeah, I think at this point 6 minutes left to go, and I think this is the point where we're going to find out which one of us was right.
Yeah, I think it's Dwarnik. I think it's Dwarnik. It just looks like he's got the pace over Wolf. Pulling that gap down like an absolute.
Well, that was a blink.
There he goes.
And yep, around the outside there. Can he hold it? And yeah, he's got that cleared before they even hit the final corner. And now Wolf is the one that is chasing in the Ferrari. So we'll see if he can get around the BMW as they go down the main straight. You can see Dwarnik's playing defensive there in the midline, but yeah, as they hit turn 1, 6 minutes left to go, so about 5 laps, give or take. Yeah, so it is going to be Dwarnik ahead of Wolf here, but we'll see if he can pull a gap at this point, or if Wolf will be able to stay just right there in the mix.
I think Dornick's going to open up, and I think he's going to win by about 2 seconds. I think.
I don't know if it's going to be 2 seconds.
Why?
I don't have a good answer for you for why it would be 2 seconds, actually. I think it'll be close.
Okay. We'll find out.
I think it'll be a little closer than that.
5 minutes on the clock. Who's going to get it? Can Wolf hang on? Is he going to get a little bit of a speed spurt as he's chasing down Dornick now? Was that the problem for Wolf? He didn't have anyone in the chase, so therefore he lost the time.
It could be, or it could have been that, you know what, he said, you know what, Dornick, if you want to catch me, go ahead. And he, you know, reeled in that 5%, 10%, whatever it needs to be to, you know, pull the tires, save the car a little bit. And now we're down with 5 minutes to go. Again, there's no sense in leaving anything left behind. So at this point, I think Wolf, you know, could just be giving it everything he's got to try to dump through and try to get Dornick. And Dornick's been pushing so hard to catch up, you know, he may not have as much left to give. And here's the GT3 car going around the inside there, and back around the outside and through. It's going to compromise the line of Dornick a little bit, but again, Wolf is just right there. I think Dornick, if anything's happened, it's been that Dornick's pushed for too long, too hard, and that's going to give Wolf just one last little chance to try to get by.
Yeah, maybe we'll find out very, very shortly. Gaps out to nearly half a second. And Dornick in that BMW is looking mightily strong. Robbers in the GTP is been, well, he's from the start of the session. That's the problem. For him, see everything. One GTP on the lead lap, that's McClendon. Carl Gretsch is a lap down, but Harcum's 2 laps down. Speraza is 21, Bradley's 25. In the GT3s, Castro is the last man on the lead lap, and he should stay on the lead lap as he's coming up to turn number 4. I don't believe he's going to get overtaken going into the final 3 minutes of the race. These guys are going to have a couple of laps to go, if that. But it's
happening right now? Why is Wolf fighting with a GTP? Just get behind him and follow him.
Yeah, that's what I'm done now. Second gap.
That is gonna. You can go ahead and close the book on the GT3 class. I think in 2 minutes 45 seconds there.
Yep.
That side-by-side action there with a GTP and a GT3 coming through the double right-hander Moss, not what he needed.
No, he should have. I think. He was either miscommunicating with Sellers and couldn't clear him, or whatever the situation may be, but whatever it may be, it's lost him 1.3. Oh, it's gonna, he's taken the curb on the entry into 1.5 now nearly. So it's all done and dusted here.
Yeah, it is, which is unfortunate because these two were fighting a good battle throughout pretty much all of this race. So to see it kind of come down to just miscommunication with the GTP, it's unfortunate. It's the nature of this style of racing, though, as we go what I think we can call this safely 2 to go. But it's just sometimes what happens here. So Ron Wolf will be submitted in the Dynaco Ferrari in 2nd place. And it's curious to see a Ferrari in white. And typically Dynaco is blue, so interesting to see the color choices in the car selection for Wolf. I kind of like it though.
Yeah, it's different. Something different. Warnick's been on the base since the beginning. Back this up as well. These guys might have one more. Looks like Al Corey has just been off the side of the circuit. But Al coming down into turn 3. He's fast hour. Third up, back in, third up, and is not going to turn. Does go off side of the circuit. Go on that.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of big offs as the night has gone on. We've seen a couple of people just get it wrong. We've seen a couple of netcode incidents, in my opinion. But overall, I haven't seen anything super egregious happen, honestly, of people wrecking people and, you know, any sort of really bad wrecks or anything crazy. So, leader comes across the line there of Keaton Crothers and takes the white flag. So, we are officially on the final lap of this race. And what can you say about Keaton Crothers here? Other than just
domination.
We haven't talked about him.
Dominating. He has absolutely dominated this very first moment he got out in front to the very last moment here where he's coming up to turn 4 for the final time in that Cadillac. Going to dominate again. Glad there isn't a lot you can say. We're on that 84, going to come over to the 85. And Keaton Crothers is going to wrap this up, get this one done here at Motorsport for the final time. So let's see if he's going to come over the line. He's coming into turn 8 at the moment, the right hander. Then he's going to go left for 9. And through the right hander at turn 10. There he goes. Keaton Crothers is your winner in the GTP class. Great job from him. Wraps it up and gets the job done. What's going down on in the GT3s? Now, I said 2.5 seconds. Close enough though, Brad. 1.6 at the moment for Nick Dwarnick. Going to come round turn 4. See everybody else who has been lapped by Crothers on that lap has finished. So Herzog and Waite, they finished as well. Now we're just going to be over the line. Final time on that run up through Mario Andretti straight away, and he's going to come over and take the victory in the GT3. Well deserving, a great job from him. Not a lot you can really say about that this evening, as he's just gone out and dominated, really got in front in the pit stops, got back in front again under his own pace and merit, and there is Dwarnick taking the victory in the GT3.
Yeah, Dwarnick had a very good run. I won't say that it was the simplest race for him, as Wolf did challenge quite a bit through. But overall, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that it was challenging all the way through. He came out in first, so you got to be very happy with that. But of course, Keaton Crothers, nothing you could say other than just total domination.
Yeah, Team Keaton Crothers with Keaton is out in front with Twisty Bits Racing of Steve McClendon was second. Silent Z Racing was third. And then we got Team Ben Harcum in fourth. Bricked Up Motorsports, Dynaco Formula Fun Racing, Thonky Sports, Team Herzog, Wide Ollie, SRB Racing, Team Crispy Kareem with JC, Team John Creedler with John Creedler, Spaz Motorsports down in 13th, that was Anthony Sparazza. Then you got Sean Bradley, Cameron Kane and Grant Parker, Matt Harmon, Tyler Merritt, Tyler Ruelas and Carl St. John. Great jobs from all of them, but it is Keaton Crothers in the GTPs, it is Nick Dwarnick in the GT3s, and a great job from all of these guys here as well. Stellar racing, stellar job from everybody just to even finish, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. Again, you know, we've talked about, you know, this is a predominantly NASCAR league running a endurance style race. So the fact that as many drivers as they did came across the line, I mean, every right to just be happy with that, because this track is deceptively hard. And I think I talked about that whenever we watched the Gen 4s come here, is that this track isn't necessarily as simple as you would think. So just seeing them finish, I mean, they should be happy with it. It's been a good run. Let's see if we can pull some drivers in here, James. Who do you want to start with? And let's see who I can talk to here.
Why don't you have a chat, see if we can get Nick in. Nick's in down there in the driver's chat room. So have a chat with Nick Dwarnick first, and then we'll have a look after that.
Yeah, Nick Dwarnick, good evening, friend. Good race. I'm not going to say it was without a little bit of challenge through to try to get the win, but you seemed very in control there. Kind of talk to me about your race.
I grabbed the pole for the class and was just trying to manage fuel, try to manage the pace of the field as well, to see who could kind of keep with me and who I could try to maximize fuel load off of. But it looked like we had a little bit of game players tonight for sure. Ron and Tyler were definitely my biggest threats on track the entire night. I'm not sure what happened to Tyler. I think he spun out and then it just became a 2-horse race with Ron and I until that first pit stop, where unfortunately a couple laps in, I was a little overzealous and went spinning off and tried to go damage control from that point forward.
Yeah, I have to ask, what's your experience with road racing like? Because me and James were having a conversation throughout this race where we kind of talked about the question of how comfortable were all the drivers, and of course, all of you race together in the same voice chat. So I know your I rating is significantly higher than the rest of the fields. So I presume you're a bit more comfortable here with road racing, but is that the general gist of the whole field, or what kind of is their feelings towards this mixed class racing, and what's the experience level like?
I feel like they've definitely come around with it from the beginning of the season onwards. It seems like there was a lot more people getting more comfortable with the racing. Definitely in the prototype field was a lot of guys that have at least some sort of road racing background, and that all kind of presumed to there. But in the GT3 field, definitely a lot more people were excited about their experience being gained race by race, week by week, to get more comfortable with the field. So the fact that we actually had a front leading battle in that final race was really made me really proud of the folks that I'm racing with, and the fact that they're coming along quick, and that we can actually put on these good events for when the broadcast comes in town.
Yeah, and I've been keeping my eyes on this season as it's gone through, and kind of just watching a lot of the chat, because it interests me to see that you all are running GT4s and GR86s, but also the GTPs and GT3s. Do you want this series to come back for another season? Are you looking for another round of multi-class road to come back for next season? And if so, is there anything different you want to see? Anything that you would change with it?
For sure. I think that it has a part of belonging in the triple bypass racing. I think that having that extra option for the guys to come out and go race is great for league development across all representations of racing. Sometimes going right can be fast too. We don't always gotta go hauling left. Hey, those guys got my numbers wrapped up when it comes to heading left. But no, I think it's really exciting. I think I would like some of these GT3 GTP races to be a little bit longer. I think that would really allow for more strategy. I think right now it was a great introduction. I think the first round at Daytona was perfect for what needed to be and how everyone kind of got introduced to that. I think just getting a little bit longer stint times and a little bit longer race will definitely help the field overall when it comes to that. Hey, maybe even another round. The 5 rounds was great. Don't get me wrong, but if we could stick a 6th one in, listen, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to commit for the full season next season, just because Fridays are kind of hit and miss with me. But if I am able to, best be known that I'm going after the prototype boys next year.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. And of course, Nick, as is tradition here with JP Broadcasting, anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out, the floor is yours for a quick 30 seconds.
Yeah, I just want to shout out all the friends that I've made here at Triple Bypass Racing. These guys are one of the best crews around when it comes to an overall positive environment and league development. If you've just been watching outside and you've not actually got a chance to race with these folks, I highly recommend you do. Any one of their series are definitely a great spot to get yourself into league racing, as well as finding a rather competitive field. So really, they deserve the entire 30-second ad mark here for all of my appreciations and vows. These guys are awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Nick. And I will agree with that. And I will say that depending on the broadcast schedule, I do want to try to get into this series next season. So you might see me on track, but I look forward to seeing you the next time we see you. Okay, Nick?
I appreciate it. Thank you, folks.
Awesome. Congrats on the win, man. All right, let's grab James. Let's grab Keaton Crothers here, and let's talk about the man that I don't think we hardly talked about until the end of the broadcast, after the start of the broadcast. Keaton, tell me, what did you do to dominate? What did you fuel that GTP Cadillac with?
Some beginner's luck, I think.
Nah, I know you did better than that. What was it that really got you the pace there and got you out ahead? Is it the fact that this is a home track for you?
Yeah, that helps. I like this track a lot for sure. It's a fun one, so that's probably the biggest reason.
Awesome. Was traffic an issue for you at all? Because we saw a couple moments with, Ben Harcum, and I believe Kyle Gresh, we saw a couple moments as well, Sean Bradley, where traffic tended to play a moment. Did you have any issues with traffic as the race went on?
Well, I had the luxury of being pretty patient, so yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. I was just trying to be patient with some of these guys and try not to wreck anybody, but I hope I accomplished that.
Awesome, Keaton. And again, from our side, it didn't seem like you had a lot of issues. And kind of looking at, the season as overall as a whole, it's been a good season for you. Are you planning on sticking around for a season 5? And is there anything that you would want to see changed for season 5?
No, it's actually my first race of the season, so I came in at the end. But yeah, I'd love to keep going. It's a lot of fun. Maybe do some of the oval tracks where I probably won't have as much success as these guys.
Yeah, of course, triple bypass, a predominantly oval league, so I'm sure we'll see you around some for there. But Keaton, as is tradition for triple bypass, we give you a good 30-second spot. Anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out, the floor is yours.
Oh man, I definitely don't need 30 seconds, but yeah, I don't know. Thanks for these guys for setting us all up, and thanks for you guys for broadcasting. It's awesome. And thanks to Steve and the 151 car for inviting me out to this. So, but that's all I got. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thanks, Keaton. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the beginner's luck, if you want to call it that. And I hope we see you on the track some more, man.
You will for sure. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, James, a bit of beginner's luck goes a long way, doesn't it?
Well, that's what he said, and at the end of the day, it definitely does here. But I think it's been a great evening of racing for us all. That's going to wrap it up here tonight, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget, if you are watching it back, like, subscribe, turn on the bells. That would be absolutely incredible. But I think from up here in the JBB booth, I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Bradley Dalton, and as always, take care. Have a great week, and you never know, we might see you on a track sometime. Good night.